I was sent this post from the True Off My Chest subreddit, and it actually had me clutching at my pearls. I'm going to get right into it because it's long and it does have some updates. She says, my mother in law cut my hair in my sleep because she thought I cheated on my husband. She says, so I'm still processing this, but I need to get it off my chest. Last night, I woke up and realized someone had butchered my hair. One side is a jagged pixie cut and the other side hangs awkwardly past my shoulder. At first, I thought I was losing my mind. Maybe I sleepwalked or something, but no. I confronted my husband, Tim, because he's been acting weird lately, but he denied it. Then he drops this bombshell. My mom, she might have done it. Apparently, my mother in law, let's call her Diane, is convinced I've been cheating on Tim. Why? Because last week she saw me having lunch with a coworker. For the record, the coworker, Kyle, is gay, and we were literally talking about work. But Diane decided I must be having an affair, and instead of, talking to me or Tim, she broke into our house in the middle of the night with scissors and went full Edward Scissorhands on my hair. This morning, I confronted her. At first, she played innocent, but when I pressed her, she literally said, well, maybe now you'll think twice before humiliating my son. I was fuming. I told her Kyle isn't even into women, but she just rolled her eyes and said something like, that's what they all say. I didn't even know how to respond to that level of delusion. Tim is horrified and apologetic, but I'm struggling here. This woman violated my personal space, destroyed my hair, and acted like she was in the right. I want to go no contact with her, but Tim is stuck between me and his mom, and I feel like this is going to be a huge blow up in our marriage. Any advice? Because I'm honestly at a loss here. The first edit. My husband and I will be going to my mother in law's tomorrow to talk to her about the situation again. Hopefully, everyone will be calmed down by then, and I won't have to threaten legal action. Thank you for all the support and the suggestions. I will keep them in mind. Edit number 2. To everyone saying this is fake. I don't know how to make you believe me, and honestly, I shouldn't have to. I'm sitting here crying in my friend's guest room, completely broken, trying to make sense of how my life has fallen apart in the span of 24 hours. My husband, the person I thought I could trust the most, betrayed me in the most humiliating way possible. His mother violated me in my sleep, and now strangers are telling me my pain isn't real. I wish with everything in me that this wasn't real. I wish I wasn't sitting here trying to figure out how to rebuild my life again, how to ever trust someone again, or how to even face the people around me after this. I've barely eaten. I've been shaking all day, and I feel like my world is crumbling beneath me. I turned to Reddit because I didn't know where else to go. I needed advice, a sense of support, something to hold myself together. But these accusations, they're just making me feel even more alone. If you can't believe me, fine, but please don't make this harder than it already is. I wouldn't wish this pain on anyone. All right, so I did go to her page, and she's had an active Reddit page since 2021. A lot of the people that have been found out or who I suspect is fake usually have very recent Reddit profiles, so I don't think this is fake either. She has done an update. Now, I did see this when it first dropped, so I'm glad that I waited until she did this update. After the conversation we had with Diane this morning, I noticed my husband, Tim, was acting weird. At first, I thought it was just guilt about standing up to his mom, but it felt like more than that. He's been avoiding eye contact and getting defensive when I bring up what happened. Earlier, I told him I couldn't take it anymore. So I sat him down and told him he needed to be 100% honest with me about everything. That's when he dropped the bombshell. Apparently, Diane didn't come up with the haircut idea on her own. Tim admitted that he knew about it ahead of time and even helped her. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. He said he truly thought I was cheating on him with Kyle, my gay coworker, because Diane had convinced him that there was too much evidence to ignore. When she suggested cutting my hair as some kind of weird punishment, he didn't stop her. In fact, he let her into our house that night while I was sleeping. Tim said he didn't want to confront me directly because he wasn't ready for the truth. So instead, he let his mother do this insane thing to me, thinking it would force me to come clean. Afterward, when I didn't admit to cheating, he started to realize he might have been wrong. But by then, he didn't know how to tell me what he had done. He kept saying, I'm so sorry, I was just confused, but I honestly don't know how to process this. This wasn't just Diane acting like a lunatic. This was both of them. And my own husband betrayed me in one of the most humiliating ways possible. I packed a bag and am staying with a friend tonight. And while I figure out what to do, I don't know if I can ever trust Tim again after this. It's not just the haircut, it's that he didn't talk to me, believe the worst about me without any proof, and actively participated in something so cruel and violating. As for Diane, she's officially dead to me. I've already told Tim that I don't want her in my life ever again, regardless of what happens between us. Right now, I'm torn. Part of me wants to file a police report on both of them for what they did, but I'm scared of how messy it will get. Another part of me wants to cut ties and move on, but that feels like letting them off too easy. I don't know what my next step is, but I do know this: I deserve better than this. Thank you to everyone who has supported me through this. Your comments and advice have meant the world, and I'm truly grateful for the kindness and understanding. It's helping me find the strength to figure out what comes next. Update number 2. I think I'm going to divorce him, and I may file a police report. After everything that's happened, I've been thinking a lot about my next steps, and I've come to the heartbreaking but necessary conclusion: I don't think there's any coming back from this. I trusted Tim with my heart, my safety, my life, and he betrayed me in ways I never thought possible. I can't imagine a future where I feel safe with him, where I can trust him, or where I don't carry the weight of this violation every day. I'm strongly considering filing for divorce. The thought of staying with him feels unbearable, but at the same time, I can't stop worrying about the messiness of it all. I just want to cut ties completely, to walk away and rebuild my life without him or his mother dragging me down any further. As for filing a police report, I'm leaning toward it, but I'm scared of what it might bring. I know what they did was a crime. My own husband let his mother into our home to assault me in my sleep. But the thought of dealing with legal battles or even just having to relive this again and again in statements is exhausting. Part of me wants to hold them accountable, but another part wants to just run far away and never look back. Right now, I'm taking it one step at a time. I've been talking to friends, trying to find some clarity in all this chaos. It's terrifying and painful, but I know one thing for sure: I deserve so much better than this. Thank you to everyone who has shown me kindness and support. It means the world to me right now. Then in the legal subreddit, she posted these screenshots saying, can this conversation with my husband be used for a police report and divorce? She's in blue, husband is in black. She says, I need you to be honest with me. Did you know what blank was going to do? And he said, I didn't think it would go this far. She says, that is not an answer. Did you know she was planning to cut my hair? And he says, she was upset, okay? She kept saying you needed to learn a lesson, but I didn't think she would actually do it. She says, learn a lesson? Are you hearing yourself right now? She told you what she was going to do and you still let her in? And she says, I thought maybe she cooled down after talking to you. She says, so she told you she wanted to teach me a lesson by cutting my hair. And you thought it would be fine. What is wrong with you? And then he says, I didn't think she'd actually go through with it. And then she says, but you didn't stop her either. You didn't warn me. You didn't protect me. You just let it happen. He says, I didn't know how to handle it, okay? She was so worked up. I didn't want to make things worse. Worse? How could it possibly get worse? You knew she was going to do it and you let her. He says, I didn't mean for it to happen like this. She says, but it did happen. And I'm sitting here humiliated, betrayed, and wondering how I'm supposed to ever trust you again. He says, I'm really sorry. I am. Sorry doesn't fix this. Sorry doesn't make me feel safe in my own home anymore. I don't know who you are anymore. I need space to figure this out. And he says, please just come home. We could talk about this. And she says, no, you made your choice. And now I have to make mine. So here's her caption from the legal subreddit saying, I'm going through an incredibly traumatic situation and I don't know what my legal options are. My mother-in-law entered my home in the middle of the night with my husband's knowledge and cut my hair while I was sleeping. She did this because she believed I was cheating. I wasn't. I confronted my husband, and while he didn't outright admit to planning this, he essentially confessed to knowing what his mom intended to do and letting her into our house that night. I'm planning to leave him, and I'm seriously considering filing a police report for assault on my mother in law and a report against my husband for enabling her. Would this conversation be enough to support filing a police report for what happened? Could it help me in a divorce if I decide to pursue one? Is it worth consulting a lawyer, even if I'm not 100% sure about filing a report yet? I've documented everything, photos of my hair, text messages with my husband, and written down the timeline of events. I just don't know if this conversation would hold up as evidence since he doesn't outright admit to anything, but heavily implies it. Any advice is appreciated. I'm feeling lost, scared, and overwhelmed. I'm glad that she's asking these questions. It seems like she is done with this man, and that is good for her because this, like she said, uh, your spouse, your significant other is supposed to look out for you, not participate in a humiliation ritual before even talking about you. This relationship is absolutely a no-go. It's over completely, but how she proceeds and goes forward, obviously is going to be, is this even a good use of time? Who knows? That's completely up to her. Let's look at just a couple of these comments. Independent Mess says, file the report against your mother-in-law as soon as you can. This conversation sounds like it would help the case very much. I'm so sorry this happened to you. The next person says, and get a restraining order against both of them. Don't be alone with either of them. If they both acted this insane about suspected infidelity, there's no telling what they will do when you tell your husband that you are getting a divorce. And then Witty Secret said, I absolutely agree. Mysterious Book says, absolutely file against your mother-in-law. It's assault. Your husband may well be able to be charged as an accessory and accessory after the fact for facilitating and covering up knowledge at first. Charge her. See what charges can be levied against both. Get a restraining order or protective order and speak to a divorce lawyer tomorrow, first thing. And Independent Mess says, this is exactly what you should do. Moto says, I saw your initial post and I'm very glad you're filing a report. I don't think it'll be worth your while trying to file a report against your husband. However, these texts will be great for your assault report on your mother-in-law. Get a family lawyer now for the divorce. The state will be pursuing your mother-in-law for the assault. If you want, you could pursue a financial case against your mother-in-law for your hair, personal injury, distress, don't know what else, but a personal injury lawyer may be able to tell you if you have a case and what you could expect. Your husband is too tied up in his mother's apron strings. Your mother-in-law is crazy and needs to be shown consequences. And then Call Me Echelon says, and keep all the receipts for any work you have done on your hair, including cost of the stylist, extensions, coloring, etc., and the time it takes. I'm a guy, so I don't know what all will go into trying to repair the damage, but I'm certain it won't be fast and inexpensive, and you should be reimbursed for those losses. So that is what they're saying in the legal subreddit. And, I do hope that she goes after these people or at least scares them, but definitely she needs to pursue a divorce because what the actual F. Join the conversation. Let me know what you think about this one. Don't forget to like, comment,